Hello everyone. Am I audible? Hello. Guys, quickly tell me, am I audible? Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. We will be starting in 1 or 2 minutes. Now everything is fine. So actually there was some issue. The stream started in portrait and I was unable to change it into landscape actually before. But now everything is right. So we'll start the session within 1 or 2 minutes so that everyone can join. Okay. By exact 7:30 we are going to start this session. Exact 7:30. Sorry for the inconvenience, guys. We will be starting at exact 7:30 now. Everything is fine. This session will be approx 30-40 minutes or 45 minutes. Okay. I will not take more time. Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience, guys. We will be starting in 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. By exact 7:30, we will start the session. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, there was some kind of issue with the portrait and landscape. Sorry, but that is resolved now. So it will not be a problem anymore. And soon we will be starting by exact 7:30. We will start so that everyone can join. Okay. Yeah, it is day one only, but there was some kind of problem before, because of which we have to continue with the day two link, but it is the day one only, so don't worry. Actually, there was some problem with the day one link. Okay, so that is why we started this session in day two link, but it is day one only, so don't worry. Okay, and by exact 7:30 we will start the session. Just quickly tell me, is my voice properly audible or not? Okay. Uh, According to me, nowadays AI is the top most skill that is demanded in the market. Nothing else. According to me. Great. So I'm audible. Exactly 2 more minutes of waiting, and then we will start with the session. Okay. And we please make sure that you already have Python and VS Code. If not, but I don't know MongoDB, then what should I do now? Don't worry, I will explain MongoDB, like how can you use MongoDB and how can you connect it. So it will not be a problem. If you want to start with the AI field, I would highly suggest to begin from the basics, like the Python basics, then do the maths behind all of this AI/ML, then go with the basics of machine learning, then deep learning, then generative AI, agentic AI, and a lot of things. Okay, There are RAGs, there are multimodal agents, fine tunings, LLMs, many things to learn. Okay. If you guys have laptop with you, then it is great because you can practice side by side. But if not, then okay, you can practice it later as well. Yet the logic for DS is same for every language. The syntax only changes. Okay, great. So let's start with the session. So let me quickly share my screen. So I hope my screen is visible now. Quickly tell me, guys, is my screen visible now? And am I audible now or not properly? Yeah, it is enough to have VS Code. What is fast API and everything we are going to discuss, so don't worry. Okay. So yes, let's quickly begin with. Yeah. So yeah, sorry. So let's quickly begin with the session. So first of all, I will give you a brief intro of the all the 3 days. So day one, day one, we are going to understand about the uh, why chatbots, and we are also going to build a basic chatbot. Okay. On day two, we are going to learn about how can we connect our chatbot with MongoDB, and how can we manage the storage of data, storage of chats. Okay, how can we basically store all the chats? Because if you guys are aware, in AIML we only need the data. Okay, in AIML we only need the data, and the data is a very important thing. Okay, so data is a very important thing, and we only need the data in the field of AIML. So it is very important for us to store the data, and even the data is sold in millions and millions. Okay, like if you have enough amount of data, a company who is targeting to make something based on that data, the company will buy the data from you as well. So the data is very much important thing. So in day two, we are going to learn about how can we store data. I hope this is clear. And day three, we are going to see how can we deploy. And how are we going to deploy? We are going to deploy a fast API. How can we deploy? And what are we going to deploy? We are going to deploy a fast API. So if any one of you who don't know what fast API is, so survive only MongoDB, because MongoDB is a NoSQL. Okay, so it is kind of easy to understand and to connect as well. Okay, so MongoDB is kind of easier to on the easier side to understand and to connect and to store the data. That is why we are using MongoDB. But like if you want to go to a different higher level, so you can use other DBs as well. I hope this is clear. And one more thing, we are going to use all the free APIs, all the open source APIs. Okay, we are not going to use any kind of paid API, so that every one of you can practice. So this is the 3 day schedule. So let's begin with the day one first of all. So in the field of AI/ML, okay, the most important thing or the very basic thing, many of the interviewers ask that, okay, this is a very important, like I have also given approximately 15 to 20 purely based on AI interviews. Okay, 15 to 20 AI interviews, and all the time interviewers ask me that, hey Lakshay, how can you make a chatbot production level? Okay, how can you make a chatbot production level? This is the major question asked to me. So the simple answer for this is first of all, if there's a chatbot, we need to see the upcoming, like the incoming amount of, like how many users are using the chatbot. Like if we have to make a one or two people using chatbot only, or we have to make a chatbot that thousands of people are going to use. Okay, so the first condition is this. Let's say we have to make a one or two people using chatbot only, so we can use a simple small LLM model. Or if we have to make a very basic chatbot, so we can use a small LLM model. Then we first of the very most important thing, we have to store all the data. Okay, and the second more thing is, it comes in the advanced part obviously, but we can also connect RAG. If you don't know, RAG is retrieval augmented generation. It is a higher advanced concept, so we are obviously not going to discuss right now. But yes, we can make the chatbot scalable, we can store the data, we can manage the data, we can make it like, if 100 people send 100 requests at a particular time, then also the chatbot will not fail. We can use background workers. There are many things we can do in a chatbot. Chatbot is not like a basic project. You can upgrade the chatbot as much as you can. Okay, and you can make the chatbot as much perfect as you can. I hope this is clear that chatbot is also a very good project if you can make it in a proper way. Great. So first of all, if any one of you don't know about LLMs as well, so LLMs are large language models. Large language models. So with the help of LLMs, a very basic example of LLM is ChatGPT, okay, or Claude or Gemini, okay. All of you may use ChatGPT, okay. So ChatGPT is a LLM, large language model. So what is a large language model? I'm not going to explain. Or if you guys want a brief explanation, so it is kind of a transformer structure which is used to predict the next words. Okay, so I know many of the stuff is kind of not basic related, but okay. So LLM, you can get a basic example, ChatGPT. I'm not going to explain the LLM stuff in detail, but for a basic understanding, you can understand that LLM is ChatGPT or Claude or any large language model. Okay. So what are we going to do? We are going to make a chatbot. How are we going to do? We are going to call an LLM, or we are going to call ChatGPT. We are going to send our request to ChatGPT that, hey, this is the user message. This is the user message. Give me the output, and the output we are going to show to the user. Okay, so we will get the output. So this is a basic chatbot that we are going to make. This is day one, not day two, guys. This is day one of the bootcamp. So this is a basic chatbot we are going to make. Now, how can we get this ChatGPT, or how can we get this LLM? So we are going to use, there's a very famous open source platform, that is Groq. Okay, so we are going to use Groq. On Groq, you guys can find many of the open source LLM models, and you can use those LLM models as well. Okay, and rather than Groq, we are also going to use LangChain. So what is LangChain? LangChain is again another open source platform that is used to make AI related or LLM related applications. When we are going to use all of these things practically, it will be more clear. Okay, so let's go on with the practical. So first of all, I will show you the Groq site. So just give me a second, guys. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, here. So I will quickly go to Groq. So actually I already have account over here, but if you guys don't have account, you can obviously create a Google account over here. So this is, first of all, this is Groq, through which we are going to use our open source LLM models. Okay, it is Groq, Groq. Okay, not Grok. Many of you may confuse it with Grok, but it is Groq. What makes free chatbot different from premium ones? So a very major difference is that if you are making a premium chatbot, so you are going to use the LLMs that are paid LLMs, like better versions of ChatGPT or some other paid LLMs that are trained on more parameters. But if you are going to make a free chatbot, you are going to use free tier stuff more and more. You're not going to use paid tier stuff. Okay. So as you can see, I have quickly I am there on the Grok cloud. Okay. You can come here by clicking on start building and you can just sign in. And now you can see there are many LLM models, open source LLM models that you can use. Like there is GPT OS, this is the chat GPT model. Okay, 120 billion parameter. This if you guys can see this 120b, I'm sorry, if you can see this 120b or 20b, so this is basically the parameters, that is 20 billion parameters or 120 billion parameters. These are the parameters on which the model is trained. If you can see this Quen 332b, that means this Quen 3 model is trained on 32 billion parameters. I hope this much is clear. If you can see this Llama 3.370b, so this means that Llama 3.3 model is trained on 70 billion parameters. So this B denotes billion and the number before B denotes the number of parameters, that is 70 billion. Okay. I hope this much is clear. So we are going to use GPT OS 20 billion parameter model. We can also use different models, but right now I am going with this model only. Okay. So I will quickly go to, not the dashboard, I will go to docs. So I have just a second. The model I have to use is, sorry, over here models. Yes, this is the model that I am going to use, that is GPT OS 20 billion parameter. Okay. So let's quickly start with by making a folder over here. Okay, so I will create a new folder with the name chat, and I will open this folder with the help of VS Code. Okay, so first of all, I have opened my VS Code over here. I have just created a simple chat folder in which I will do all the work. Okay, I have just opened the simple folder in VS Code where I'm going to do all the stuff. I am going to do all the coding. So now the first thing is we have to create a virtual environment. Okay, we have to create a virtual environment. So what is virtual environment? So let me quickly explain what is a virtual environment. Okay, in very simple terms. So let's say this is your environment, this is your total environment, your system or your computer or your laptop. Okay, now let's say in this you have installed NumPy. Okay, NumPy is a Python library. So let's say you installed NumPy version 1.1.6. Okay, this is a random version I'm taking. So NumPy is a Python library, and let's say you have installed this particular version in your environment. Now one of your project, that is P1, requires NumPy 1.1.6. Okay, this exact version. But let's say a project 2 requires NumPy version let's say 1.2.6, not 1.1.6. Okay, uh, 1.2.6. Okay, let's say some particular project 2 requires the NumPy version 1.2.6, but in your environment you have 1.1.6. So how can you change the version? Because if you will change the version over here, so your project 1 will stop working. Okay, if you change the version over here, this project 1 will stop working. So that is why we make different virtual environments. So this project 1 will have its own virtual environment where we will use 1.1.6, and this project 2 will have its own virtual environment in which we will use 1.2.6, and both of the versions will not interact with each other. Okay, so they both of them are separate. I hope this much is clear. Yeah, so yes, the definition is correct. An environment which sets everything apart from the actual PC or laptop environment variables is known as virtual environment. So 1.1.6 is I am just a random number or version I am taking of a particular library, nothing else. Okay. So let's quickly begin. So the first thing is that I want to make a virtual environment. Okay. So I will go over here terminal and I will click on new terminal. Okay. So this will open a terminal over here. Okay. Now as I am in Mac OS, first of all we have to create the environment so it is same for all. So I will write Python 3 -m venv venv. So this first venv denotes that I have to create a virtual environment. Okay. And the second venv is the name of my virtual environment. I can give another name as well. Let's say I can give Lakshay. Okay. So now this will create a virtual environment with the name Lakshay. But let's say if I want to create some other name, let's say Sky. Okay. So now I will create a virtual environment with the name Sky. But right now I want to create it with the name venv. So I will simply write venv. Yes, we will create a Python file shortly. Just wait for a second. Guys, is the screen froze or something not clear? Quickly tell me. Guys, quickly tell me, is the screen not clear or something? Great, great. So the screen is clear. So yeah. If you guys want to practice, you can, but this lecture is going to be on YouTube. So you can use the like you can watch the recording later as well. Okay. If the screen is blurry, you can change the quality actually. So you can obviously change the quality of the screen. Okay. So this is how, this is a simple command through which I can make a virtual environment. So I'll click okay, so there's an error. Okay, sometimes I get this error. So I'll just create the virtual environment again. Yeah. So now I have created a virtual environment over here. Okay. So the next thing is I have to start my virtual environment. Okay. So if you are also on Mac OS, okay, so you have to write the command source venv/bin/activate. Okay. So if you are on macOS, so you have to write this command to activate your virtual environment. Okay. In my case, it is already activated. But if you are on macOS, you have to write this command to activate your virtual environment. But if you guys are on Windows or Linux, you guys can write what was the command? Yes, venv/scripts/activate. Okay, so this was the command for Windows if I'm not wrong. So with the help of this command, you can activate your virtual environment on Windows as well. Yes, this command is for Windows when you want to activate your virtual environment in Windows if you are working on Windows. So this is the command to activate your virtual environment. But if you are on Mac OS, so you can simply use source venv/bin/activate. I hope this is clear. Before activating, you have to simply create the virtual environment, nothing else. Okay, and please focus, guys. The scripts, okay, in the Windows command, in the Windows command was venv slash scripts. So over here in scripts, the S is capital. So please focus on this, guys. Okay, great. So uh, this is how you can create and activate your own virtual environment. Now the next thing is we are going to use we are going to make a requirements file. Okay, we are going to make a requirements file over here in which we are going to write all the requirements that we are going to need for the project. Over here in the requirements file, we are going to write all the requirements that are needed for the project, like all the libraries, not the requirements, but all the libraries. So first of all, I'm going to install NumPy. Okay, so NumPy is a library, and basically it is used for when we have to deal with vectors or matrices. Okay, then we use NumPy library. The second thing we are going to use is LangChain. I already told you that LangChain is an open source platform which is used to build AI related applications or LLM related applications. Okay, then we have to install LangChain underscore Groq. So what is this LangChain underscore Groq? So this is a library which is used to access this Groq. Okay, it is a library which is used to access this Groq models. I hope this is clear. Then the next library we want is LangChain underscore core and LangChain underscore community. Sorry, guys. So yeah, these are the all the libraries that we are going to need right now. Okay, later on if we want other libraries, then we are going to install them. Okay, but these are the libraries that we need right now. If you want to create virtual environment, the command is python 3 minus m venv and the name of the virtual environment. Yes, this lecture is available after the live session as well. If you are using Google Colab, it is same. You can install these libraries different way, but yeah, it will work on Google Colab as well. But at the end, because we have to deploy it, right? So we have to use the VS Code only. So that is why I'm using it in this chart as well. LangChain, I will just show you. Wait. So LangChain is an open source platform or library which is basically used when we are dealing with LLM related applications. Okay, when we are you calling some LLMs, when we are manipulating the data, like extraction of data or little manipulation of data, the storing of data as well sometimes. So in these times we use LangChain. I hope this is clear. Okay, so these are the requirements. Now I have to install the requirements in my virtual environment, right? So I will write pip install in the terminal. Okay, in the terminal I will write pip install minus r requirements dot txt. Okay, in the terminal I will write pip install minus r requirements dot txt. Yes, you do need to install the Python extension in VS Code if you don't have. Okay, great. So this is the command to install the all the requirements, all of these libraries. So I will quickly run this. So as you can see, all the libraries are getting installed in my virtual environment. Okay. And yep, so all the libraries are now installed in my virtual environment. Now the third thing. Now the third thing, as we know that we are going to access this OpenAI model, right? We are going to access this OpenAI model, right? So how can I access this OpenAI model? We need some kind of API key, okay, through which we can access this model. Okay, So to get that API key, I will go on Groq, and if you can see this API keys on the top right, okay. So you have to go to this section, API keys. Then you can simply create a new API key. Okay, create API key. Let's say I will give the name chatbot. Okay, no expiration, or I will set the expiration as, let's say, 7 days. Okay, because I don't think so I will need this API key after 7 days. So I will submit, and it will take a minute. And as you can see, I got my API key over here. Okay, so all of you can generate this API key totally free. So if just go to Groq and do the same thing, and you can get your API key free of cost. Okay, now properly copy this API key, because you can see this API key once only. So copy this API key, go to your VS Code. Okay, go to your VS Code, create a file with the name .env. Okay, create a file with the name .env. Over there write Groq API key equal to, and simply paste your API key. Okay, so this is how you have now saved your API key. API key is used to access some kind of things. Okay, like if I want to access that specific GPT OSS model, so I have to first access Groq, right? So to access Groq, I will need some kind of, we can say, authentication token to access that. Like, hey, I am Lakshay, I'm going to access this. Okay, so for that, I will get a specific API key for me. I hope this much is clear. Yeah, I'm not purchasing anything. Everything is open source. API expiration date actually means that this API key is valid only for 7 days, because I don't need this project to, like, if you guys are using this project in your resume or your CV or something, so don't set the expiration date. Okay, but I don't think so I will be needing this API key after 7 days. Okay, because the bootcamp is obviously of 3 days only, so I won't be needing this API key. So that is why I set the expiration date of 7 days, so that after 7 days this API key is will not be in use. Okay, like it will be revoked. Okay, so to get the API key, just go on Groq. Okay, just go on Groq. After that, come to this API key section. Okay, click on this API key and create a new API key. Just give a random name to your API key. If you want some expiration date, you can give that. Else, just set on no expiration and submit, and you will get your API key. I hope this much is clear. I hope this much is clear. Everything till now is clear or not? Quickly tell me, guys. If everything till now is clear, write clear in the chat. Quickly, guys. Yeah, right now it is no expiration, right? So it will not expire at all. So you can select no expiration only. Yeah, you can use all of these like pip install command and all of these commands in Windows as well. Not a problem. Yeah, if the API key is revoked, you can create a new one. You can already see that one of my API key was revoked. So you can use a new one anytime. Yes, you can use Gemini and OpenAI API keys, but actually those are paid. So this is a like free version through which we can access LLM models. So that's why I'm using, because many of you may not be able to use paid API keys. Okay, that is why this is a free version. To create API key, you just have to come to this API key section, click on create API key and just enter the name, and you can submit and you will get your API key. So I hope this is now clear how we created our API key. So now all the setup is done and we can move with the coding part. So I will create a Python file, that is, let's say app.py. Okay, I'm going to create a Python file, that is app.py. The command to install the requirements is pip install -r requirements.txt. Okay, it is pip install -r requirements.txt. I hope this much is clear. If everything till now is clear, write clear in the chat quickly, guys, and we will move forward. Yeah, this is the .env file. I have simply written Groq API key equal to, and this is my API key. Okay, so this API key is free of cost, so you can just go on Groq and you can get your own API key as well. Yes, you must copy that API key. Yeah, these are all the requirements. We have not used more requirements right now. The only requirements we have is LangChain. That is important right now, is LangChain, LangChain underscore Groq, LangChain underscore core, and LangChain underscore community. Okay, great. So let's move ahead and start with the coding part. So first of all, in Python, we always import the libraries. Okay, so we will import OS. Okay, and the next library will be going to import is, sorry, from .env. I'm going to import load underscore .env. So many of you ask me, sir, what is load underscore .env? So with the help of this load underscore .env, we can simply get all the envs in our folder. Okay, so you can access all the environment variables in our folder present in this .env file. Okay, then we will be using the from langchain underscore Groq. I'm going to import chat Groq. Okay, so chat Groq is a function through which we are going to call our LM model. I hope this is clear. Then the next thing we are going to use is, okay, I will explain later on. Now I will use load underscore .env to load all these .envs in my app.py. Okay, to load all these .envs in my app.py, I will write load underscore .env. The next thing is I will get my Groq API key. Groq underscore API underscore key is equal to os dot get env Groq API key. I hope this much is clear. Okay, so now I have my API key within this variable Groq API key. I hope this much is clear to you guys. I hope this much is clear to you guys. So instead of app.py, let's do one thing. I will create one notebook.ipynb. Sorry, notebook.ipynb file. Okay, I will be creating ipynb file code, and I have to install. Okay, let's take it for later reference. So I hope this much is clear. First of all, quickly tell me, guys, is this much clear till now? I have done nothing. I have imported the OS, that is the operating system. I have just imported the OS and the .env to import all the environment variables in my app.py, and I have initialized Groq API key as the actual Groq API key. Zoom the screen. I hope this much is okay. Okay, so let's quickly continue. Now the next thing is we have to create a prompt. Okay, so what is a prompt? So prompt is some kind of message that we are sending to the LLM. Prompt is some kind of a message that we are sending to the LLM before the call of the before the actual user message. Okay, so let's do the prompt. Before prompt, I will just show you how the API actually works. Okay, how the LLM actually works. So let's say I am using chat is equal to chat Groq. I will use API underscore key as the Groq API key, and I am going to use model is equal to the model I told already. I am going to use the docs. Under this I will come to models, and I am going to use this OpenAI GPT OSS 20 billion model. Okay, so I'm going to use this model 20 billion model. Okay, so this is the model I'm going to use. Instead of chart, let's give the name LLM. Okay, LLM. So now whenever I will do something like LLM dot invoke LLM LLM dot invoke, and let's say I am writing, okay, I am writing the same text, what is the capital of France. Okay, and I will run this cell app.py. So you can see okay, I have to print it as well. Sorry. So I will save it under response is equal to lm dot invoke, and I will print the response as well. Okay, now I will save this and I will run it quickly. So you can see I'm getting a lot of data. I have to zoom out a little. Okay, so as you can see, first of the thing I am getting the content. Okay, so content, the capital of France is Paris. Then the other things are the additional cogs, or we can call the metadata. Okay, if we only want the content, I can simply write response dot content. Why response dot content? Because you can see the output over here is under the content section only, right? The capital of France is Paris. It is under the content section only. So I can simply write response dot content. Now I will run this. You can see the output. The capital of France is Paris. Okay, let's ask another thing, something like um 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 how to do push-ups. Okay, how to do push-ups. Okay, I'm asking very simple question, how to do push-ups. I will save this and I will run this again, and you can see the output over here. So it gave me a very big output over here. The output starts somewhere like a push-up is a classic body weight exercise that require works and with chest and shoulders and triceps and a lot of information. So this is how the chatbot is working, that we are sending some query, some user query to the LLM, and we are getting the response from the LLM. I hope this much is clear. So do I have to generate API key every 7? No, you don't have to generate the API key every 7 days. You can just simply click on no expiration over there, so that your expiration date, like the API key, will not expire. If everything till now is clear, please write clear in the chat quickly, guys. Because now the next thing we are going to do is like add the prompts and output parsers and everything. So how much one can get by selling a chatbot in India? So chatbot is a very basic necessity nowadays. Like all the websites or apps require a chatbot. So there are many startups that are on the initial phase which need some kind of chatbots and AI models, but they don't have the knowledge to do so. So yes, on a, if you are selling on a very like base price, you can sell to the startups and everything. No, these are not stored in LangChain underscore Grok. So what are we doing? We are sending the user query. This is like how to do push-ups. This is a user query. This is a question that I am asking. I am the user, right? So this is a question that I am asking. So we are sending this user queries or these questions to the LLM, to the large language model, or to, we can say, ChatGPT, because we are indirectly using ChatGPT as our open source model right now. So what we can say, we are sending these queries to ChatGPT and we are getting the output from there, and we are showing the output over here. This is the basic flow that we are working on. Okay, so right now this is like, this will handle all the queries. But what if you have to yes, so what if you have to make a chatbot for a particular purpose only, like if you want to make a chatbot that tells only jokes, or you have to make a chatbot that answers based on the some kind of reasoning or something, or some kind of research, or you have to make a chatbot that will work only on your website, like that will have the data of only your website and nothing else. So how to make those types of chatbot? Yes, all of this is free. And yes, you can use Grok for production, like there are paid plans of Groks which you can use for production. No. So if you want to get more question answers, so I'm going to teach how can we do that as well. Okay. So let's move ahead. So as you can see, this is simply how we can access the chatbot. Okay. So next thing we are going to learn is how can we get a prompt. Okay. How can we write a prompt? So for that, I'm going to import a library from langchain underscore core dot prompts. I am going to import chat prompt template. Okay, from langchain underscore core dot prompts, I'm going to import chat prompt template. Okay, so with the help of this chat prompt template, we can use the prompts. So now I have to set up the prompt first. Okay, so I will write prompt is equal to chat prompt template dot from underscore messages. Okay, chat prompt template dot from underscore messages. Now under this, I have to write two types of prompt. The first one is the system prompt and the second one is the user prompt. Okay. I have to write over here two types of prompt. The first one is the system prompt and the second one is the user prompt. The system prompt is the prompt that will be sent before the query, and the user prompt is the user query only, nothing else. Okay. So in the system prompt, let's say I want to make a joke bot. Okay, I have done this in a previous bootcamp of mine as well. But let's say I want to make a joke bot. Okay, so I will simply write system and I will write, sorry, I will write, I will write over here, you are a joke bot, give me a joke. Okay, or if I don't want to create a joke bot, I want to create something else. So let's say you are a fitness bot. Okay, tell me the answer. Uh, with respect to the fitness things. Okay, this is a random prompt that I have written over here, but to make a more advanced bot, your prompt should be more and more accurate and precise. Okay, so this is a very basic and random kind of prompt that I have written. The next thing I have to give is a human prompt or the user prompt. Okay, so I will write over here user. You can also write human as well, and I will simply write questions. I will simply write question. Okay, so this is how we can create a prompt. Okay, now we will attach this prompt. Now we will attach this prompt to our LLM. Okay, I will simply write chain. Okay, chain is equal to prompt, then or symbol, then LLM. Why I am writing prompt before? Because I want that I will send the prompt before, after that I will send the LM or the user message. Okay, before I want to send the prompt only. Okay, that is why I've written prompt over here before LLM. Now let's say response equal to chain dot invoke this. Okay, let's quickly run this. I will save it first of all and I will run it now. So as you can see, the question is same, how to do push-ups, and now it gave me a little different answer, like start in the plank position. The second point is enhance the core. The third point is lower your body and everything. Let's say if I want to get some kind of different prompt, I can write you are a diet specialist, give me the output accordingly. Okay, so let's say I've changed my prompt this time and I will run this again. So this time it is giving me, first of all, it is giving me the technique. After that, you can see it is giving me balanced routine and also the nutrients, why it matters. Like it is giving me a proper diet plan, like nutrition for push-up performance, and putting it all together, a 4 week simple plan it is giving me, a post recovery sample and everything. Okay, so it is giving me a diet plan as well. Why? Because I have changed the prompt over here and I have told the LM that you are a diet specialist now. So this is how the prompts matter a lot. The prompt that you are using will change the output totally. I hope this is clear. I hope this is clear, guys. Yeah, this is basically for personalizing your chatbot, you can say. If you want that your chatbot is only made for a specific website, then you have to first scrape that website, all the data from that website, and you can train or fine tune the chatbot based on that data only. So that is how the chatbots for specific websites are made as well. So I hope all of this is clear, right? So it is already 8:20. So let's wrap up the session today, guys. Yeah, right now it is working like ChatGPT, but you can also customize it according to your own. Okay. So this is it for today, guys. In the tomorrow session, we are going to make it more and more complex. It will become more and more complex. And what are we going to do is we will also connect it with MongoDB in the upcoming sessions, and we will deploy this as well. I hope this much is clear because we have already reached 8:20, so we will not consume more time. Yeah, the recording will be there. The GitHub link will be sent after we have done all the things and we have pushed everything on GitHub. So don't worry. No, the chatbots don't have any limit. The responses are not stored anywhere right now. But yes, after we connect MongoDB, all the responses and user queries will be stored. Yeah, you can post it on LinkedIn. So thanks a lot for joining, guys. This is it for today, and we will continue tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Okay. Thanks a lot for joining. And please fill out the attendance form quickly, guys, as it is very much important for the certificate. Yes, we can use MySQL, PostgreSQL, and MongoDB, and many more DBs are there. But right now we are using MongoDB because it is a little bit easier to understand, or it is a little bit easier to connect as well. Okay, so many of you may know other DBs, but we are going to use MongoDB for this bootcamp. No, it does not have limit. Like for the beginning level, it does not have limit, but if like you make it at the production level and everything, so you have to, like, let's say, take a little subscription or something. So .env is, yeah, so I've just simply written Groq API key and I've pasted my API key over here, nothing else. Thanks a lot for joining, guys. Quickly fill out the attendance form as it is very much important for the certificate part. Any other than VS Code, all the stuff that we did today, we can also do it on Google Colab as well, but I'm more comfortable with VS Code, and we have to at the end we have to deploy it as well. So that is why I have started in VS Code only. Yes, I am using free version of Groq. Yeah, the sessions are there on YouTube only, so you can come and see the sessions anytime on the DevTown YouTube channel. Yes, this form is an attendance form only, so please fill out this form. The attendance form is pinned in the live chat, so please fill out. And thanks a lot for joining, guys. Yes, you can use PyCharm as well. PyCharm is also a great idea. Right now, the responses are not stored, and this is the main thing that we are going to learn in the next session. That is, how can we store the responses in some kind of DB, and how can we connect the DB. So in today's session, you can simply practice how we did the setup and everything, and how are we calling the LLM, and try to change the prompt different, like sometimes use different kind of prompt, and like try to change the prompt and see how the output changes, so that you will get to know why the prompt matters a lot. That is why there is a very totally different field known as prompt engineering. Okay, so in that you only understand how can you write the prompts in a more better way. So that is why writing the prompt is a very very important thing. Thanks a lot for joining, guys. What is this top fans thing? Sorry, I don't know. Thanks a lot, guys. Please quickly fill out the attendance form, and we'll meet tomorrow at 7 o'clock sharp. All the upcoming boot camps will be, all of the information will be updated to you guys through the WhatsApp groups only. Okay, so please be active on the WhatsApp group or the DevTown community channel as well. Invalid input it's showing. So please check out the video again. Okay, so maybe you have done some kind of wrong step, so please check out the video once again. So in today's session, just try to use different prompts and see how the output changes. This is the only practice you can do in after today's session. Yes, this form is Google Docs only. Thanks a lot for joining, guys. We'll meet tomorrow at the same time, that is 7 o'clock. Thanks a lot.